Thank you all for coming out. Okay, so here we go. So my name is Olin. I've lived here for a little over 10 years. I'm a sophomore at Evanston Township High School, and I'll first start by talking about a couple of groups we're part of, and I'll talk about a little project I've been working on the side. So I am part of ETHS Sunrise, which is a local high school-led chapter of the National Sunrise Movement, which is a climate justice organization. Yeah, so last year we actually accomplished something pretty big. We passed the third Green New Deal for schools in the country, only after DC and Denver, and this is huge. This really made a large impact at the Evanston Township campus, which is the largest high school under one roof, so I'm sure you can imagine it produced a lot of emissions and a lot of other impacts to the environment. So the Green New Deal for schools addresses energy efficiency, education, curriculum, waste, and purchasing. So some of the highlights is it's meant to eliminate 100% of greenhouse gases by 2050 with some intermediate checkpoints in between to make sure we're hitting our targets on time. We're going to be a zero waste facility by 2045, as well as a couple other goals. So we're currently working with the school to implement that. The school also hired, I think last year or the year before, a sustainability director, John Crawford. He's been able to make a huge impact. So we've been able to accomplish a lot at the high school, and we look forward to what's going to come next. So I'm also a member of Go Evanston, which is a Climate Action Evanston transportation subgroup. We reformed pretty recently. I know that there was a previous chapter that kind of disbanded slowly, but now we're backing at it, and I know there's a couple people here tonight who are a part of that. So we're kind of in the startup phases still, but I look forward to see what we're going to accomplish in the future. So I'd like to use the time I have left to talk about an idea I had last year that I've kind of been working on more lately, trying to gather support. So it has to do with Ridge Avenue. So Ridge Avenue is your classic road. 4-lane arterial, high speed, many collisions, and I don't think, although I don't have my license quite yet, I don't think that Ridge is a very fun place for drivers, at least from what I've heard. There you go, amen. So it's narrow, I live near it, the accidents happen all the time. I don't think anyone really likes Ridge, but it's rather something that we all have to live with. So as of now, the road is due for resurfacing in 2026 or 2027. When that happens, the city plans to install a road diet, meaning instead of the 2 and 2 it currently has going each direction, it's going to be 1 lane in each direction with a turn lane in the middle. And they're going to use that extra space, because now it's down to 3. They're going to widen the lanes. And their hope is that this will improve driver comfort and safety. And while I think some aspects are positive, I don't think that this will actually improve safety, because we know from various studies that when you widen the lane, that just causes drivers to go faster, and then more accidents happen. So the idea I have is actually to put a protected bike lane on Ridge, similar to what is on Sheridan. I'll give you a couple of reasons why I think this would make a positive impact. So as of now, Ridge Avenue had more bike collisions in 2022 than any other road in the city, despite it being the only road that doesn't allow bikes, which I find ironic. It had 5 bike accidents, which is more than any other road in the bike path. For context, Sheridan, always busy, as I'm sure you know, had 1. Ridge, no bikes, 5 accidents. Sheridan, a bajillion bikes, 1 accident. So I think something's not adding up there, right? So this is because it's not a safe road by its very nature. And widening lanes, as we've seen in a million other places, is not going to help solve the problem. I think that roads should be for everybody, and I think that just because you don't have access to a car shouldn't take away your right to use the infrastructure that's been built out so much over the past 80 years. Roads used to be for everyone, but that's unfortunately not the case anymore, and that's what we're working to change, and I think we're doing a good job so far. So the idea is to have a two-way protected bike lane take up one of the lanes, and then have one lane each direction and a turn lane in the middle. This would put in many of the positive aspects of the road die, of the increased safety from not having oncoming cars, slam into turning cars, all that. So that would stay, and you'd unlock major new ridership, I think, because we know that the more, because one issue I hear a lot is, okay, you built a bike lane, great. Well, why is nobody using it? Okay, I like to tell them this. I say, imagine this. Imagine you only have one road, and all of, like, if you're driving a car, and the roads, if every road is a cul-de-sac, and you're in a car, are you gonna take the car? Probably not, right? So that's what it feels like with the bike lanes. I'm almost done. Thank you so much. So, I think the more that we build, I think the more ridership we will get, and I see that going up exponentially. Additionally, there is major commuting, especially when the ETHS students have to go to school. Many of them I've spoken to would want to take the bike, it's just not safe. And Ridge is one of the major roads that many say that they want to use. So I hope to get the support of ETA and other organizations for this cause, and I thank you all for hearing me out here. So thank you.